Hello everyone and welcome to Life Begins at 20. My name is Mark and today I'm going to be bringing you my top 10 rares and mythics from Amonkhet for Cube. If you missed my top 10 commons or uncommons video due to attaining pre-releases, there will be a card on the screen now and links in the description below. I hope you all had a great time and would love to know how you got on. Just before I get on with the video, I'd just like to thank my new sponsors for my Cube content, the Mana Base, for bringing me the opportunity to grow and bring you all even better content. For those who don't know who they are, they're a website of fellow Magic the Gathering content creators like myself, bringing you content from all formats. Definitely do check them out over at themanabase.com, as I'm sure you'll enjoy what you see. Back to Amonkhet, and I'm really excited by so many cards in the set at all rarities. Cube builders of all levels from Pauper to Powered have been treated to one of the better sets in my recent memory for cubable cards. Just so you're all aware, as always with these lists, the invocations won't be part of it, as the likelihood that one of these will be opened up is extremely low. That being said, there are definitely some cards which were unlucky not to make the list. But without any further ado, let's get stuck in. At the number 10 slot, we have the best of the Amonkhet gods in the form of Hazoret the Fervent. While I've not been overly impressed with the gods for Cube, this one has some potential. It's a 4-cost 5/4 indestructible haste creature that will end up killing the opponent eventually. Either through attacking, which you could get online as early as turn 5, or, worst case scenario, Hazoret's ability to discard a card to deal 2 damage to your opponent means you can turn your draws each turn into guaranteed damage. Plus, this direct damage can keep opponents' planeswalkers' loyalties under control if they have a lot of blockers. The downside for this card is that there is a lot of competition in the 4 mana cost red creature section, but like many big creatures, the floor can be really low due to being removed by an Oblivion Ring or Path before being able to interact. This is a solid card that may well make it into bigger cubes. I'll be making room for sure, as I'd be pretty sad if I couldn't get one Egyptian themed god into my cube. At the number 9 slot, we have a white exert creature that can pack a punch in the form of Glorybound Initiate. A 3/1 for 2 isn't the most exciting body and susceptible to all toughness based removal, but with the exert mechanic, making it a 4/4 when it attacks with lifelink could do some serious work for you. Even though most players would prefer to have an evasive 2-drop over this, on turns where you don't need to exert it, this will outpace them. In an aggro mirror matchup, this really does come into its own. Not only will it be a body that does some significant damage to your opponent with a potential 8-point life swing, or they're losing a body each time you attack and you're still gaining 4 life. If you can find ways to untap it, giving it vigilance or utilising Flicker Wisp for example, it means you can do this every single turn. At the number 8 slot, we have a card that closely resembles Monastery Swiftspear in the form of Soulscar Mage, with the main difference being in utility. In a deck where prowess triggers won't be difficult to achieve, this does a good job of mimicking a 2-power 1-drop. Plus, its ability can be really strong, especially allowing your instant speed burn to become combat tricks. This is especially useful against a mid-range deck which red aggro would have problems against. A resolved Baneslayer Angel is often a big problem for red aggro, but attacking with Soulscar Mage with the Angel blocking it means a Lightning Bolt will produce 3 -1/-1 counters, which means that the Mage would not only kill the Angel, but survive. This ability means that you're able to manage the size of your opponent's creatures rather than just worrying about removing them from the board. This allows you to kill them off in a couple of turns rather than just in one go. This is a really fun and unique ability that could certainly find its way into cubes, although there will be times where the -1/-1 ability isn't relevant and you'd much rather have Swiftspear. Swinging in at the number 7 slot on the list are the Cycling Dual Lands. Being able to cycle these cards away later in the game to draw something more relevant is a really useful ability, and with so many ways to make the most of them being dual lands, they become really powerful. Prime examples are Core Skyfisher bouncing it back to cycle away for more card draw, Daze being cast for free off of it and then doing the same, Moloko can do it as well, and Koth can utilise them with his abilities. These are just a few positive of so many that these lands can do to improve their value. The positives of these cards really do outweigh the single negative of entering the battlefield tapped, which isn't insignificant at all. As with all Enter the Battlefield tap lands, they set back tempo and can be a problem in aggro decks, although cycling them away for more gas can definitely make up for it. They may not break into smaller cubes, but I'd put these firmly behind Duel, Fetch, Shock and Man lands. At the number 6 slot we have a solid 3-drop Planeswalker in the form of Gideon of the Trials. For me, he sits more in a control shell rather than any other, although that's not to say he can't fit into others. His +1 is his strongest ability, as it will neutralise your opponent's biggest threat while you find ways to deal with it and even grow him in size. Even in an aggro deck, you're able to start the damage prevention so your creatures can still run into bigger blockers and survive. His middle ability is strong too, costing 0 to make him a 4/4 human soldier with indestructible who can start dealing damage straight away if the situation arises. After wrathing the board would be a perfect opportunity, for example. His ultimate, which is a 0 cost again, giving you an emblem that is a Platinum Angel effect, is really overrated in my opinion, as your opponent can just attack him to get to you. His +1 will certainly do far more work protecting himself and you over the course of the game, although it's not to say that there won't be useful situations for this. For me, he's a defensive card first and foremost, which you'll need to be aware of when choosing him. He's a creature second and a little distraction third, although by some distance. The 1 white mana cost does make it a little harder to play on curve too, but I guess I'm just being a little harsh now. Although he's the weakest white Planeswalker available to us, he's still solid at the 3 converted mana cost slot and would get into most 540 plus sized cubes. Smaller cubes keeping an eye on Planeswalker saturation may not be able to find a home for him. Moving into the top 5, and we have a red card that from the first look can be a little underwhelming, but can also provide a large amount of trouble for your opponents in the form of Harsh Mentor. Depending on the size of your cube, the number of targets for this can vary, but it'll certainly be a lot more than you think. Cards like Arbor Elf, Grizzlebrand, and Verdolken Shackles, for example, are cards that will be affected. The impact this card will have is completely determined by the type of deck your opponent is playing, but punishing someone for using fetches, equipment, and tap creatures can turn into some significant damage over the course of the game. The downside to the card is that he's woeful in combat, trading with pretty much everything, but I see this being run in decks with more removal rather than heavy body based aggro decks. It's often difficult to see the true value of this card, but once you've played a few games with him, you'll start to understand. At the number 4 slot, we have a card that is just a straight up replacement for Ruinous Path in cubes in the form of Never to Return. There isn't really too much to say here. I don't believe I've ever played Ruinous Path with the Awaken cost, so having the ability to cast the return part of the spell whenever I'd like, I feel is getting me a lot more value out of the card. The return part of the card is also solid as well, as is perfect graveyard hate to remove a potential threat, plus getting a body on top is always good to see. If you're currently playing Ruinous Path, trust me and swap it with this, as 99 times out of 100 you'll get a lot more value from this card. Sitting at the number 3 slot, we have a recursive 2-power black 1-drop that flies up there as one of the best black 1-drops we've got in the form of Dread Wanderer. This 2-power 1-drop with no life loss is pretty much good enough to get into most cubes on that alone, but having the ability to recur this creature with 1 or less cards in hand is fantastic. If you support black aggro, you have a new best friend, and if not, it'll still fit nicely into all manner of black decks. Plus, if you support a zombie theme in your cube, even better. I'm a huge Ancient Egypt fan, and this is exactly what I wanted from a card. Plus, let's be fair, who doesn't want a zombie jackal? At the number 2 slot, we have another really solid Planeswalker in the form of Lilliana, Death's Majesty, and by God did black need a good 5 casting cost card. A 5 cost 5 loyalty Planeswalker that can come in and tap up for 6 to protect herself and synergise with the rest of the card is fantastic. Not only does her +1 create a 2/2 zombie body, but putting 2 cards into your graveyard can certainly help with her -3 ability and other graveyard archetypes. Her -3 ability is amazing, although a little slow for a strong reanimation archetype, but it won't be hard for her to find a big monster or a creature with a really useful enter the battlefield effect for extra value. Plus the fact that it turns the creature into a zombie as well is really relevant to her ultimate, which at -7 does look a little unachievable after reanimating a creature, but being able to wipe away the board apart from zombies is really nice. For me, this Planeswalker can fit into a variety of black based deck types, which I'm very happy about and certainly can't wait to find a home for her. At the number 1 slot is the card I'm most excited about, although a little sad as she's going to be kicking out Kiora from my cube, and that is Nyssa, Steward of Elements. There really is so much to like about this card. The X casting cost allows you to get her on the board fairly early, and once you have, you'll be able to set up future turns with her. Plus, later on in the game, top decking her can prove to be explosive. Her +2 is extremely useful, not only to protect her weaker body compared to that of the mana cost coming in, but also fixes future turns to make the following plays that much more coordinated. Her 0 cost is phenomenal. Not only does it help you to ramp or get a creature out into play, which you can set up with a +2 ability, but it's free. This means that the newly resolved creature can help to protect her. This potentially can be devastating later on in the game with a higher loyalty, and using tutors or her +2 ability to set up a huge creature like Craterhoof Behemoth to really turn the tide. Her ultimate is really strong too, which you can even pull off later on in the game after top decking her, as having 8 mana in a green based ramp deck isn't unheard of. Plus it's easy to achieve if coming in earlier, as her second ability doesn't affect her loyalty. Adding 10 flying damage will more often than not win the game by itself. The positives of this card really do outweigh the potential negative that people may have of not a fixed cost and loyalty, but for me that doesn't affect this card too much, as she's always useful no matter what the cost is she comes in at. I'd certainly put her in the top 2, if not the best Simic card available to us for Cube. So there we have my top 10 rares and mythics from Amonkhet for Cube. Like I said at the start of the video, a lot of these cards are great additions to cubes, although some may well make it into powered ones. There are a lot of cards that were borderline too that just didn't make the list. I'd love to know what your thoughts are. Is there something that I've missed out, or would you change the order? Do let me know in the comments section below, as I'm always interested to see what you all think, and I'd love to know which cards you'll be putting into your cubes. I'd like to again thank the Mana Base for sponsoring this video and adding me to their list of great content creators. Definitely do check them out at themanabase.com, as all of your format needs will be covered from Pauper to Legacy and Cube. They're currently running a competition to create their new logo, which will be running until the 30th of April, so not much time left. The winner will receive a booster box of Modern Masters 2017. If you're interested in this, I'll put a link in the description below to find out more details. On Friday, we'll be starting a new segment on the channel called Inside the Cube, where we'll be talking about the archetypes in Cube, why you might want them, and how to support them. As the series progresses, we're going to be going into individual archetypes and talking about the cards you'll need in your cube to support it. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, share it, and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already for new videos every Tuesday and Friday. Don't forget to hit that notification button to know when each video is uploaded. With your support, we can really help the channel to grow. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.